Hey y'all, Daniel Gaines here. Just want to give you all an update, let y'all know where things stand. Disclaimer first, this video is going to be a bit all over. I'm going to do some shit I wouldn't advise anybody to do. But trust me, I know what I'm doing, and I'm doing it for a purpose and a reason, to be explained later. My appeal has been set for a date, for a review date. It will be reviewed the 28th of October. At that time, I fully expect the appellate court to rule in my favor. However, they're wanting to do it without oral arguments. So, there's a motion being filed now to try and grant oral arguments. And whereas the authority to do so is completely at the discretion of the appellate courts, I've decided to call them out on how corrupt they are and how much bullshit they're full of. So I'm hoping that that'll piss them off to the point where they'll want to speak to me in face to face. If not, oh well, they still review it. However, I did be sure to include in my motion that the standing right now is none of the laws can apply to me in the state of Washington. The Constitution, federal laws, state laws, or anything else. They've given me an affirmative defense. Now, that doesn't mean what that means is if I were to go up there and engage in any criminal conduct, I'd still be arrested, yes. However, the trial would prove damn near impossible for the prosecution to get a conviction. Because I'll just subpoena some federal agents, the ones I have on audio recording, admitting law is not subjective, and if one doesn't apply, none can. I'll also have the proof from the judges where they've deemed and said on record that certain laws don't apply to me, which means none of them can. And if none apply, that means none. The courts have deemed some don't apply, which means none can apply. No laws can apply to me inside the state of Washington. Murder, arson, robbery, blackmail, extortion, anything you can think of. White collar, blue collar, drug trafficking. As long as I don't make anything a felony, they can't do shit because they've given the affirmative defense by them determining the laws don't apply to me. I've done nothing but ask them to uphold the law the whole time. And again, that's also something I can prove and will do. Now, I'm not going to do anything too stupid. However, if they determine the laws don't apply to me, I am going to push this issue and show them why it's stupid. And I figured doxing Terry Farmer and Gerald Johnson, two judges, well, a judge and a bitch fucking commissioner, I figured doxing them and then posting outside their fucking front house outside their front door for a couple days, constantly putting them on YouTube and everything else as they're coming and going, finding out who their children are, doxing them, provided that they're at least 21 years of age or older, otherwise they're off limits. If they got kids in college, doxing where their college is at, what dorm they stay in, I'm letting all the information be known. If I can get access to their socials, I'm putting that out there too. Why? Because it's illegal to do. It's exactly why I'm going to do it. Because it's illegal. And then I'm going to embarrass the fuck out of them in court. Don't worry. I've got several audio recordings with the FBI to make sure that my bases are covered in all this. Worst case scenario, it has to go to a federal court before it gets thrown out. They're the ones who determined I have no rights and no laws can apply to me in the state. Their fault, their stupidity. You don't victimize somebody for 20 fucking years and then say, yeah, we're sure the law doesn't apply to you. Because the beauty of law is here's how it works. Say I do dox these judges, well, the judge and the commissioner, right? Say I do it. Well, they're going to arrest me. I'm going to win in trial. I'm going to win the trial. And the beauty of it is, any criminal conduct I engage in, all of it's going to end up with the same result. It all has to get dismissed until they go back and remedy and rectify what they have done. Once they rectify all of that and apply all those laws properly, as they're supposed to, then and only then, from that point forward, can they do anything to me. Anything that happened in the meantime, ex post facto. They can't go back and do anything about it after the fact. So, it'd be in their best interest to just uphold the fucking law. It's not hard. It's not like I'm asking a lot. I mean, hell, don't you normally hear people bitching about the law being upheld and where they want to break from the law? I don't. I just want the fucking law upheld and applied. Sadly, they refuse. So, okay. I'll show them why it's stupid. It's already guaranteed I ain't living forever. Thanks to them, I probably won't even live to see my 50th birthday. Which means I've got less than 10 years left. And there's a whole lot of shit I could do in 10 years. Been going to the gym regularly, again, for the last 3.5 months. I'm already back up 28 pounds, muscle. Got my 8-pack back. My 1 mile run time is down to 5.5 minutes now, again. Still not where it needs to be, but I'm steadily just getting back in shape for what comes next. Because either what comes next is I push the issue or I get my fucking life back. Either way. I'm more so hoping it's I get my life back, personally. But corrupt are going to corrupt. That's just what they do. I'm just not one that's going to tolerate it. See, because I understand the Constitution says we don't have to. The Constitution gives us a civic duty to remove tyrants from office by any means necessary. And if that means I have to get people thrown in prison or force them to give up their position through other means, the laws don't apply to me. That means I legally can do so. And that means I then have an obligation to help and protect others by doing so. So, we'll see how it goes. Now, why would I be stupid enough to put this on Facebook, knowing these fucking idiots in the state are watching our YouTube, rather, knowing these idiots in the state are watching my YouTube and taking this right to the police? Because, like with everything else I've said, I'm not worried about it. It's First Amendment protected free speech. I can say I'm going to do something. I can say I'm going to harm somebody. Doesn't mean I am. Doesn't mean I have any intent to. Doesn't mean I'm doing anything towards achieving that. Now, this being said, I do have Judge Johnson's home address. I do have Terry Farmer's home address. I do know where other family members of theirs are at as well. I know their license plate numbers. I even have Terry Farmer's driver's license number. I'm thorough with my research into things. All obtained through legal means, mind you. I don't break the law. But the fact that I haven't done anything with all this information in over 2 years keeps me protected from it being anything other than First Amendment free speech. Because if I wanted to, I could have already given that information out. I'm just waiting on them to determine if the laws apply or not. The other investigations they've tried to have done, they went nowhere. Like the last one was because of YouTube videos they tried having Pierce County Sheriff's Department and Tacoma PD looking into me criminally. I called the fucking detective personally. Told him he was an idiot, but he was more than welcome to try. Told him he wanted to go that route, he can get embarrassed because they're cherry picking fucking emails and I can easily prove it, so to go ahead and do what he needs to do. Told him to come at me, issued a warrant, Missouri will extradite. Crickets. Fucking crickets. I'm not worried about it. The law is the law. See, there's a couple pieces of case law y'all could look into to understand what I mean with an affirmative defense. Look at the case surrounding Ruby Ridge. Look at how, even though guilty as hell, they walked from that because of what the government did. A state government is still the government. Don't get it twisted. Then think of Clive and Bundy, the Bundy case. Look at what happened with that. They were all found by the Supreme Court to be not guilty, even though they killed federal agents, had a standoff and everything else, because their rights were violated and they reacted. Law is not subjective. Every judge in this country knows this. Every prosecutor in this country knows law is not subjective. You do not have the ability or authority, anyone in this country, to pick and choose which laws apply to an individual and which don't. It is literally all or nothing at all times. If one doesn't apply for any reason, none of them can. All or nothing. That's the reality of the U.S. Justice system. Legal system, actually. And it's just one of those things that I happen to know. And I've already proven. That's why I had 4 FBI agents at my door, reluctantly admitting that that is true. Because they realized quick that they were fucking outgunned and outmatched and outclassed. Not literally outgunned, I just mean in a battle of wits, they came completely unarmed. So, being as that's the case, we'll see how this goes. I obviously will keep you all updated on what the outcome of the appeal is, and then the potentially subsequent court filings. Depending on what the appellate court does determines how things go. If the appellate court rules in my favor, then within a couple days, the federal lawsuit will be filed. If they rule against me, well, then the lawsuits are going to be put on hold for a short period, and I go to the state of Washington. And it's that simple. What I do when I get there is anybody's guess, because literally nothing's off the table. Literally everything is an option. It all comes down to, what lines won't I cross? Do I have any lines that I won't cross with these people? Is there anything I won't do? And I'm only limited by my creativity and imagination. And I'm a pretty creative individual. Also can be a bit sick and twisted. I read a lot. Medieval works, current works, doesn't matter. I read a lot. So I can come up with some crazy shit if need be. I'd rather it not come to that. I'd rather the law just be upheld and applied, to be honest. That'd be the simplest solution for everybody. But we'll see. And I give 0 fucks about what they try to do to me. They won't win in the end, I will. I'm not worried about it. Even if it has to go all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, I'm not worried about it. Because they determined the laws don't apply to me. I didn't make that call. They did. I'm just the one smart enough to understand what they've done equals this. So, affirmative defense is in place. Let's see what the appellate court does. That's the delay. The delay's been the appeal. Appeals are long. They're not quick, like I said before. Mine's actually being reviewed fairly quicker than what I would have thought, actually. I figured it would have been February, March or so. 23 at the earliest that it got reviewed. So I was surprised whenever they sent me a notice saying that it was the 28th of October of this year. So, again, I'll keep y'all posted. Until then, love y'all. Have a good one. Peace.